Good evening and welcome to a regular meeting of the Oak Harbor City Council. It is Tuesday evening, October 3rd, 6 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order at this time and invite you to stand and join us if you choose. Tonight our invocation will be led by Father Kyle Logan, graced by the Sea Anglican Church, and immediately following that I will do the Pledge of Allegiance. Father?
Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, send down on those who hold public office, especially Bob, Beth, Tara, Eric, Shane, Jim, Brian, and Chris, the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve in their offices to promote the well-being of all people, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight's meeting is being streamed live on YouTube and Facebook and will be broadcast on cable channel 10, HD 1090 following the meeting. Attendees are participating in person and via teleconference. Guests that are included in staff presentations will be excused at the conclusion of the agenda item as appropriate. So I know that we have a council member that is actually attending virtually, and I believe that's Councilor Wiesner, okay? And then I know that the rest of the council is here except for Councilmember Munns, and she is not feeling well and is called in and has asked to be excused. So I would entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Munns.
I move that we excuse Councilor Munns.
Second? Second. So we have a motion and a second to excuse Councilmember Munns. That motion was made by Councilor Hoffmeyer, second by Councilor Wittgenstein. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. Any opposed? Okay. Now we'll go to the agenda. Are there any suggested changes to our agenda? We have a fairly short agenda tonight, so it will be approved then as presented. And we'll then go to item number 2 on that agenda, which is under proclamations. This evening, proclaiming October 2023 as Oak Harbor Garden Club Month in celebration of their Centennial. It is my honor to proclaim October 2023 as Oak Harbor Garden Club Month, and I've asked Mayor Pro Tem to read the proclamation. Mayor Pro Tem.
Proclamation. Whereas the Oak Harbor Garden Club was founded in 1923 and is affiliated with the Washington State Federation of Garden Clubs, and the motto of the Oak Harbor Garden Club is create, cultivate, and appreciate. Let us grow together. And their aim is to conserve and enhance our natural beauty, to promote better gardens for better homes, and through study to gain a more comprehensive knowledge of horticulture and floriculture. And the banner of the Oak Harbor Garden Club reads, learning, sharing, doing, grow with us. And this month we join in celebrating the Oak Harbor Garden Club Centennial. And since its inception, the Oak Harbor Garden Club has contributed annually to the beautification of our community. Highlights of just a few of its major projects include plantings and landscaping for Windjammer Park, formerly City Beach, the Triangle at State Highway 525, corner of 60th Northwest and 700th Avenue West. Boy, that's a retro address. Oak Harbor Marina, Public Safety Building, Flintstone Park, Historic Neal Tower, Welcome to Oak Harbor sign, Oak Harbor Schools and Oak Harbor School District offices, the Oak Harbor Chamber of Commerce, the Center, tree planting along Highway 20, adoption of Hal Romaley Memorial Park, fencing for Smith Park, participating in tree planting for Arbor Day celebrations, the installation of downtown planters, and the thousands of daffodils and tulips planted throughout Oak Harbor. Now, therefore, we, Mayor Bob Severns, and the council members of the City of Oak Harbor do hereby proclaim October 2023 as Oak Harbor Garden Club Month. In the city of Oak Harbor, we urge all citizens to celebrate the club's achievements and thank them for their 100 years of dedicated service to our community. Signed this third day of October 2023, Bob Severns, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. $100. Wow.
Do you want me to present this to someone specific, or
I
just
would
move
like
straight
you
to
to
the-
present it to Kathy Chalfant, who is next going to talk about, it's fitting that she will be doing a presentation by the Oak Harbor Garden Club.
Oh, perfect segue. Here you go. Thank you. It's all yours.
Well done, thank you.
Ready? I'm Kathy Chalfant, Leadership Chair of the Oak Harbor Garden Club. We are proud to turn 100 years old, and it is today to the day. I'm going to share a little bit about what the club accomplished in the past and what we continue to do to contribute to the Oak Harbor community. Mrs. Walter Elliott was downtown the day a sidewalk was being put in front of the bank. She asked Mayor Hill Barrington why they didn't put a sidewalk up the hill to the high school. Mayor Hill replied, "Mrs. Elliott, that is something for you women to do." From that idea, the Oak Harbor Women's Improvement Club was born. The first meeting of the Oak Harbor Women's Improvement Club occurred on October 3rd, 1923. Here is a picture of Dorothy Mailer Boyer in 1923. She was a member of the Civic Improvement Club, and her granddaughter, Helene Valdez, is a current member of our club. The club had many projects in the early year. They were instrumental in getting a baby clinic to come to Oak Harbor. The first library was started by the club, who paid the librarian 50 cents an afternoon and donated $5 per month for new books. In the early years, the club helped to save the Gary Oaks in City Park, which is now Smith Park, and had many projects to benefit the park. Here's another picture of a picnic in Smith Park. In 1946, the club changed to the Oak Harbor Civic Garden Club. These pictures are from the earliest yearbook that we have a copy of on record. The club project pages in these early years show how much the club was up to, and so many things from the 1950s have continued: horticulture, flower arranging, plant sales, and in 1955 the club is still giving $50 to the library for books. The club hosted a Christmas trail annually, which consisted of taking entries for decorated outdoor trees, window scenes, and doors, and then judging the entries. Here's a newspaper article about leaflets and junior gardeners from 1962, and if you look at the bottom, it talks about Mrs. C.C. Harbor, who was Dee Harbor that was so involved, and her daughter, Kathy Harbor, who is in the audience today, is a current member of the Garden Club. Another project page, still a very busy club. Hard to read from here. Roadside beautification. This is one of the ones where there's a project done and it talks about street names that don't exist anymore. And when I tried to figure out where it was, it's non-existent, but here they are doing a beautification project. And if you see them here, one woman is even doing it in a dress. In 1973, the police station was built at the location it's at today, and the club helped get the landscaping put in. In fact, when I read through the literature, they actually got 18 different clubs to help with the fundraising, and between all of them came up with all the money to do the landscaping for the police station. So here are before and after pictures. Here's a project at the marina working with a scout troop. Here is one working on educating, raising awareness for the Skagit River Bald Eagle Sanctuary, and the Garden Club was involved in the inception of getting it set aside. Oak Harbor Garden Club, along with the Chuckanut District that is in our area, was a major contributor to the establishment of the Fragrance Garden in Ferndale. You can go to this garden today, which was designed for the visually impaired. For many years, the club sponsored a cleanup day. It included volunteers cleaning up trash in areas of Oak Harbor, free garbage dumping in 3 Park City garbage trucks. This is 1984. The Garden Club has supported Arbor Day every year with the planting of a tree somewhere in Oak Harbor. This one is Help House. Here we are at Flintstone Park, 1990, and 2016 at Hillcrest Elementary. Well, this is when there was no Hal O'Malley Park. 1989 is when work first started at Hal O'Malley Park. The Garden Club was a major donor and has supported this project ever since. When Highway 20 was widened, in 1990, there was a new strip between the sidewalk and the highway needing landscape. Community members and businesses were invited to sponsor a tree. The Garden Club sponsored 4 trees, and I did a little investigating and got a little help, and I found them. So these are the 4 trees that we adopted, and 3 of the plaques are still in the sidewalk there. Another very large project is the corner of Midway Avenue and Whidbey Avenue, where the school district has property. These are before pictures, after pictures. In 2010, the club had a very large project at Hillcrest Elementary, which over the course of 5 years grew to include raised beds, rain barrels, irrigation systems, and a classroom learning experience for the Hillcrest students. Here's one of our current members teaching a lesson, and on the right is all the bounty that they collected out of the garden one day. The civic improvement projects are too many to include, but I found this handwritten page from a 10-year period, 1991 to 2001, in which the club spent $25,000 in Oak Harbor, which if you take that out 100 years is $250,000 that we have spent on projects in Oak Harbor. Hal O'Malley Park has had numerous improvements. The Garden Club paid for the gazebo that was put in there. The gazebo has since been moved to the marina. The welcome sign to Oak Harbor, Senior Center flower beds. Flintstone Park had a bed totally redone. Replacing the fence at Smith Park, went from chain link to wood and was painted white, and it has been painted white a second time. So it is looking very fresh right now. Another trellis at Hal O'Malley Park that the Garden Club paid for and put in. A teacher's tribute garden at Windjammer Park. I could go on and on. We have done a lot to celebrate our 100-year anniversary. We replanted the blue pots on Pioneer Way. We planted 6,850 daffodils all over town, and they actually did amazing coming up all over town this spring. We had a mural put up on Erie Street. We commissioned a plaque, and I now have a picture, which I didn't have time to get in here, of it being unveiled last Saturday when we had an open house, and so it now sits in that corner bed at Smith Park. We are a healthy, vibrant club. We had a goal of 100 members when we turned 100, and we succeeded in going from 50 to 104, which I think is pretty amazing in the past 2 years from when we came out of COVID. We meet the second Tuesday of the month at the First United Methodist Church. And we continue to have as a goal to develop a beautiful city through loving care of small areas. Thank you.
Kathy, I got to attend your Saturday event. Thank you very much for the invitation. And for those that couldn't be with us, I wanted to tell you that one of the questions I was asked not long after becoming mayor was, what is my part with the garden club? What are my responsibilities? And I quickly determined that it is to stay out of the way, because and then Hank Needham followed me and talked about the many things that the city has been able to partner with your organization. Please tell your members that we have a great thing with the Oak Harbor Garden Club in the city of Oak Harbor, and we appreciate all that you do all the time, and it's a big job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And also, would the members in the audience that are Garden Club members stand up? We have a big group here to support us. So thank
That's
you to
fabulous.
everyone
That's fabulous.
to come. And the thank you belongs to all of us.
Yes, thank you. Not many organizations have doubled their size since COVID, I can tell you that. That's pretty big. Councilor Hoffmeyer?
Yeah, just real quick, I wanted to tell the Garden Club as well, most of us have passions, some of us are able to use our passions to make our community a better place. I think we are, Oak Harbor is very fortunate that you have chose to use your passion to make Oak Harbor a more beautiful place. And to all 104 members, thank you. Thank you very much.
So I think the council all feels that way, and we just appreciate everything you do every day. So thank you. Okay, we'll move on then to our third item on our agenda, which is citizen comment period. This is the time when citizens may comment on consent agenda items or subjects of interest not listed on the agenda. At this time, citizens will have the opportunity to comment on the remaining agenda items during the meeting as appropriate. Citizens can also visit our website prior to our meetings for methods to submit public comment or contact City Clerk Julie Nestor by phone or email. When submitting comments, please include your name and address. Public comments sent anonymously will be shared with the mayor and the council, but will not be displayed. We have received no new public comments since our last regular meeting. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak to items not listed on the agenda or the consent agenda? If so, the clerk will call your name, or just come forward to the podium, please, and give us your name, if you will.
Hello all, my name is Cheryl Grahan and I'm the Events and Logistics Manager at the Chamber of Commerce. And what we would like to appeal to you council folk is that since the redoing of Windjammer, and you guys are really wanting events to happen at Windjammer, we would like for holes to be put in at the road of Beeksma leading to Windjammer so that the Lions Club flags could be posted there. So during our military appreciation picnic, we wanted flags to guide people down to Windjammer, and we could not have that done. So just would love to, if you guys could chat about that and make it happen. Thank you
very much. I know we have staff here that has taken some notes about this, and we'll work with our Public Works Department and Parks Department, see what it takes to get that done. So thank you very much. Any other citizen comments? At this time, none, it looks like. So we'll close the public comment period and go on to the consent agenda. We have several items listed. Are there any objections or changes to the consent agenda? It doesn't look like it, so those will be approved as presented. We're moving forward quickly. We'll go to the mayor's comments. Item number 5A, Mayor's comments. The Federal Emergency Management Agency Integrated Public Alert and Warning System National Test, in coordination with the Federal Communications Commission, FEMA, will conduct a national test of the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System tomorrow, October 4th, 2023. All major U.S. wireless providers will transmit the national test to their subscribers. The test will help ensure that wireless emergency alerts and the emergency alert system continue to be effective ways to warn the public about emergencies, particularly those on the national level. If your mobile phone is on and within range of an active cell tower from a participating wireless provider, you should receive the national test. The test will take place at approximately 2:20 Eastern Time, which is 11:20 here, our time. So that's tomorrow, 11:20. If your phone starts to go off, you'll know what's going on. Paving of West Whidbey Avenue. Paving of West Whidbey is nearly complete. All that remains to the major project is paving the northern half, which will take place tomorrow, weather permitting, and then the roadway striping. Thank you to our engineering and public works staff. Been a project that we've been long waiting for, and it'll be nice to get that done. Thank you. Garden Club Centennial. It was my privilege to attend and speak at the placing of the Garden Club plaque at Smith Park. It was a good fun time. They had wonderful cake and a good time. Council Member Advisory Board duties. Councilmember Wiesner has indicated that he wishes to pass along his ex officio duties for both the Park Board and the Joint Tourism Advisory Board. I have asked Councilmember Marshall to serve on the Park Board and Councilmember Stuckey to serve on the Joint Tourism Advisory Board, and both have accepted. Thank you. Did you know you did that? Well, I have to send him a text, I guess. Happy to help. Better check your phone. Turn it on so you get the message tomorrow at 11:20.
I'll be all over it.
Okay. City Administrator Oborn is at the ICMA conference this week, but I think I saw a picture of him here earlier. Is he attending virtually? I'll be darned. Leave it up to Blaine. He goes to a conference and still comes to our meetings. That is the ICMA annual conference for local government management professionals. 4-day conference focuses on providing attendees with the tools and support they need to make their communities a better place to live, work, and play. October is Anti-Bullying Month. The Pacers National Bullying Prevention Center will be placing orange banners along Highway 20 to commemorate Unity Day. The banners will be in place from October 7th to October 15th. And then you'll see on the screen here some upcoming events. And as soon as we're done, give you a minute to look at those, then we'll turn to the council for comments. Okay. Council comments, yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. To piggyback off your comments about the alert test that's going to be happening tomorrow, I wanted to encourage everybody, if they haven't already, Island County Department of Emergency Management has an app. It's called, if you go to the App Store and search Island Ready, it's called Island Ready, and it's just like the county logo. So if you see the Island County logo there, you can download it and you can sign up for alerts, and it's chock full of great information. And on that note, I would also really love to have Eric Brooks from the Department of Emergency Management come and do a presentation for council, maybe at a workshop. It's probably been 10 years since, I think, probably about that. Anyway, since somebody came and discussed, emergency planning and how important that is for city and what our duties are if something happens and we have to go to the Emergency Operations Center, et cetera, et cetera. So if that's something that the mayor and staff could entertain, I'm not sure what the best venue for that would be, but it would be great to get an update. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Good stuff there. I'm looking at our chief back there. I'll bet you know how to, not that, yes, chief. I know that you know Eric and how to reach him.
I can certainly make that happen, Mayor.
Yeah, in the event we have a serious emergency, I'm going to be working directly with chief, and hopefully that won't happen in the near future, but we should always be prepared. So, okay.
Mayor, we have an item for council consideration, the consideration of the joint meeting with the Planning Commission.
Yeah, so the, yes. I'm sorry?
This you're considering my property.
Oh, not yet. Yeah, yeah. This is the joint meeting with the Planning Commission, set for October 24th at 6 PM, to determine a quorum for holding the next joint meeting with the Planning Commission. Staff has received 3 confirmations of availability and 1 response of inability to attend. We would like to get on to page 4 here. Determine the availability of a quorum and council approval to add this meeting to their calendar. Looks like we got some thumbs up going here. Couple of thumbs, looks like 3 of them. 4. Add to the calendar. Anything, Councilor Wiesner? Do we see on? Is that a thumb? Wow.
He's giving
Okay.
a thumbs up, Mayor.
That's
Staff would like a motion and a vote to add that to the council's calendar.
Councilor Hoffmeyer. Oh, yes, Councilor Wiesner.
No, I didn't have any comment, Mayor. I was just saying I'm good with that date.
Okay, great. Okay, Councilor Hoffmeyer.
I move to hold a joint meeting, special council workshop with the Planning Commission, October 24th, 2023 at 6 PM.
Second.
Okay, you've got a motion and a second to hold that joint meeting with the Plan Commission, October 24th at 6 PM. That motion is made by Councilor Hoffmeyer, second by Councilor Marshall. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. Okay, looks like we got 6 of them here, passes unanimously. So we are just about to go on to Quail Lane, but I did want to wish Councilor Munns to get well. I know that, I know she had planned to attend here, so I want to make sure that she understands that we want her to get well quick and come back. So we'll go on to item number 6, which is public hearings and meetings. Item number 6A, Brewer request for annexation 860 Quail Lane. And we've got the parcel number. It's a 2.5 acre tract. And for this evening, we have our Development Services Director, Mr. David Cool. Mr. Cool.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Tonight we would like to consider the annexation request for the Brewer family, Carl and Laura Brewer, on 2.5 acres on Quail Lane. 860 Quail Lane is the exact address. This is a map showing the area in blue, which is a outline of the 2.5 acre parcel. You can see that the parcels are all the same size, and there are 16 of them in this particular area. All of the lots in question are mainly developed with housing and other accessory structures. The area at the very bottom of the blue line is 16th Street, going all the way across here. The subdivision to the south is located here. 16th would eventually go across here. Quail Lane is actually the area where the top area for this particular parcel is. If you get to the very top up here, Gun Club Road is one we're all familiar with, and it's up there. So this is the area. We've checked it out a little bit. We found that there is a sewer line in this Carmela roadway alignment, but there's nothing up on the future right-of-way of 16th, so nothing really adjacent or close by. We have not routed this to other departments to look at. The reason is the Brewer family has requested that this not be annexed, and so there's a host of reasons for that. So we'll go back through the normal process that we go through for annexations. So we follow the typical format that you're used to. On the left is the general approaches, and that means that if we do annex it, then there are increases in service demands for fire and police. There will be transportation impacts as well. On the right, there are property-specific things to consider when you're annexing, things such as infrastructure connections, access, frontage improvements, and that sort of thing. Adopting the zoning is something we always do when we annex. The 2016 land use plan was done about 7 years ago, and it's residential estate land use. We got rid of the residential estate land zoning a long time ago from our zoning ordinance and our zoning maps. So the property-specific zoning would be R1, which is the closest zoning that we can find. As you know, we always ensure that new residents of the city accept our existing and future bonds and share with the city taxpayers all the indebtedness. So the action tonight is to conduct a meeting with the applicant, and technically this is your meeting with the applicant. You can accept, you can reject, or geographically modify the proposed annexation, and this is what we typically do. So we have a little more information here for you so you can make a decision. The applicant has requested denial of the annexation. We, as a policy, do not allow housing north of 16th. So the county is the only agency that can approve a house in this location. Obviously, we cannot approve a house north of 16th. And this is the very last lot that we can find that hasn't been developed in this particular 16-lot subdivision. So without county approval, the lot would be unbuildable for residential use. And the Brewer family bought this with their dream of putting in a home there. And so unfortunately, if it were in the city, we could not allow them to build their house. So our recommended motion is, as you see it, to deny the 2.5-acre property located at 860 Quail Lane. And we feel it's a reasonable approach to help the Brewer family obtain their house. That concludes staff presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Cool. Before we bring it up here to the council, I'd like to open a public hearing and call for any public comments at this time about this subject, and I'll close the meeting after the public comments are done. Please step to the podium and give us your name.
My name is Carl Brewer. I'm the property owner, along with my wife. I'll keep this brief. I spoke at last month's meeting. It was probably a little confusing because you hadn't gotten your report yet from these guys. So you probably understand that I really would like to build our retirement house there and hope that you do not annex the property. For whatever reason, the sale of the property triggered the opportunity for the city to annex it. So that's why I requested the annexation meeting, but I'm not requesting annexation, obviously. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Anyone else for public comment regarding this? Okay, I'll close that public hearing and turn to the council for questions or comments or motions. Mayor Pro Tem.
Just so it's crystal clear to anybody watching or listening, the council usually responds to requests to annex. We don't usually initiate them, but in this case, the owner saw the potential for hypothetical future annexation and sent us a request that we not do that. So the actual request is not to annex, but it's to not annex. Do I have that right? Okay. Just want to make sure that I have this completely clear.
I went to the county to get a permit.
Yeah.
And they stated that I had to ask your permission to decide on annexation before they would touch it.
Oh,
So you
that's
have to actually
interesting.
reject it before they will accept it,
That's interesting.
right?
Okay,
So,
thank you. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't want to, I don't see a problem with it. It's interesting scenario, but yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Any other questions? Make a motion? Where is that recommended motion? Oh,
It's not often we get asked to not do something. I move to deny the annexation of 2.5 acres of property located at 260 Quail Lane.
second.
okay, we've got a motion and a second. The motion reads exactly like the recommended action in the packet. That motion was made by Councilor Stuckey and seconded by Councilor Wittgenstein. Any other council input or question?
Mayor, I just wanted to point out that in the packet, there is a typographical error to say 260. It is correct on the screen that we had up earlier, which is 860. And the information in the packet, notwithstanding the slide that's in the packet, is correct at 860.
Okay. Okay, and that's the motion? Correct. Right? Okay. Got the correct motion. I already said motion second. No other council questions or input? All in favor signify by raising your right hand. Looks like that passes unanimously. Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you, Mr. Brewer. Good luck with your plans. Thanks, Al. Yeah, good supervisor. Okay. That concludes item number 6A. We don't have anything for 7, 8, and now we're at 9, which is approval for the mayor to sign a letter of submittal for a law enforcement pursuit technology grant. And it looks like we have our Captain Slowick for this presentation. Welcome, Captain.
Hello, Mayor, City Council. I think we have some slides. Okay. So today I am here to talk to you about we have an opportunity for a grant for the police department, and that's to apply for let me go back one slide real quick. It's to apply for a Department of Commerce Law Enforcement Pursuit Technology Grant Program. It's a quick turnaround on this grant, and so we're asking for approval for the mayor to sign the intent for us to apply for this grant. So the purpose is that the grant provides law enforcement agencies with a modern technology and training, improves communication between agencies, and improves safety for all involved in vehicle pursuits. The modern pursuit technologies that we're talking about, it includes but is not limited to tracking equipment, license plate reading equipment, drones, vehicle immobilization equipment. So the intent behind it is the Department of Commerce is offering grants to law enforcement agencies to use technology to avoid getting in pursuits or to terminate pursuits early. That's the intent. So it's supposed to improve safety for everybody. For the Oak Harbor Police Department, we would be able to apply for a $50,000 grant. The grant is based off of the number of officers we have at the police department. The opportunity is to expand our police department tools that are not in our current budget, and the grant is not matching, so there's no matching requirement. So the motion that we're asking for is to move to approve authorizing the mayor to sign a letter of submittal to the Washington State Department of Commerce for the Law Enforcement Pursuit Technology Grant Program. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Captain. Before we turn to council, I'd like to confirm with our clerk that we've had no public comment about this from our general public.
That's correct, Mayor. We received no input from the public.
Thank you, Julie. So now I will turn back to council for questions. Input? Yes, Councilor Stuckey.
So I understand the speed of this. And whenever someone says non-matching grant, my ears are always like, yay.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure, I mean, I get that you put kind of a vague thing about what it could be used for. Do you have more of an idea? And the reason I'm asking is I don't want us to go pursue something we don't necessarily need. That's $70,000. Well, now we need $20,000 more to make this happen. I mean, I want to tack on to this if there isn't really a plan for it.
Definitely, yeah. So tomorrow actually is the meeting from the Department of Commerce where they're going to say what technologies will be approved in this grant program. From what we've gathered so far, there are different intervention techniques or different intervention tools. Certain things such as one is called the Grappler, which is a net deployment system that hooks onto the front push bars of a police car. There's a buttons pushed inside the police car, and it actually deploys a net that can get wrapped around the back tire of a vehicle that's fleeing. So that's one technology. Another one is called Star Chaser, and it actually is either shoots out like a Nerf dart that sticks to the back of a vehicle that's fleeing. It has a GPS attached to it, and officers can use that to track a vehicle. That could be a piece of equipment that's installed on a patrol car, or it's a shoulder type of deployment tool. Again, it has drones and different other options, license plate reading technology, those type of things. So
Sounds kind of like a video game or two I've played.
yeah, so the real question is, do we have those things in our budget currently? We don't. We don't have any of those items in our budget. This would be looking at future technology that we would look at deploying. We know that this technology is used in other jurisdictions. I'll just say, like New York City, when I was there at the FBI National Academy, that Star Chaser dart thing, they actually had just deployed that there, or during my weekend in New York, and they had 8 vehicles that they had successfully deployed it on. So, and they were able to track and recover the vehicles. We don't have helicopter support around here, so they're, using future technology is what we're going to end up having to use. If there's a grant that can support us being able to deploy that at the department, I think that's a benefit for our resources and how we use our budget. The other part is I looked into, and I'll just stay with the Star Chase thing, is we could outfit, for the $50,000, we can outfit 5 patrol cars plus have a shoulder deployment tool. So that's, of our 9 patrol cars, 5 would be outfitted is what we would have if we went with that one piece of technology. If we went with something else, we would look at how do you maximize the money so we're not going over that $50,000 amount.
Yeah, like I said, no reason not to go for a non-matching grant, just making sure that we're staying within that $50,000
Definitely.
budget. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Does the department already have any, I don't know, like positive experiences with using drones or other kind of overhead technology in pursuit of anything or anybody?
Yeah, so I'll say that currently we do have drones that the City Council approved, and we have, let me just think really off the top of my head, we have 5 different drone units. Of those 5 drone units, 4. We have 4 different drone units. They're of 3 different models. We have successfully deployed those 3 times in the last 2 months. None of them have been for vehicle pursuits, but all of them have been for either a fleeing suspect for Department of Corrections that we deployed our drone for. We just had a burglary in the county that we deployed our drone for that was an active burglary where people fled into the woods. And then the last one was an arrest of a suspect who has a violent offender type of suspect that was barricaded in his house, that we sent a drone into the house prior to sending any officers, and that assisted in calling the person out of the house. So all of them have been successful deployments. It is definitely a tool that's keeping our officers and the community safe, and I can see us leveraging use of that technology or advancing that technology further in our community.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really nice to be able to hear that that the tools you have are being effectively utilized.
Definitely.
Rather than sitting on a shelf. So, yeah, you're going to get a yes vote from me anytime we can police more effectively and efficiently in a way that keeps everybody safer. So I can't apply for this fast enough.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Anyone else? Yes, Councilor Hoffmeyer.
Thank you, Captain. Keep up the good work. You know, it has been, it's been exciting over these last couple of years to see all this technology added to move you guys, you know, further ahead and, you know, ultimately advance the public safety within the community. And, you know, so much of it has been at no cost to the local taxpayers, which is amazing. So keep it up.
Yep, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, I think they're ready.
Yeah, let me pull it up here so I can read it exactly. I move to approve authorizing the mayor to sign a letter of submittal to the Washington State Department of Commerce for the Law Enforcement Pursuant Technology Grant Program.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. I think that motion reads like the recommended action in the packet. Motion made by Councilor Wittgenstein, second by Mayor Pro Tem Heisen. Seeing no other questions or input, all in favor signify by raising your right hand. That looks like it passes unanimously. 6 hands in the air. And that looks like it concludes the agenda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. And any other council input? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor, just wave goodbye and thank you for watching us.